All right, let's get into the messaging ISO 222 on the 11/22 date. And this is in that time frame where the dragon is coming in for landing at the age of 85 on 11/27, which is a 11/9 breakdown. And your TikTok 11/9 is upon you with the China 80 and the America 20 and the 20/80 rule. And that 128p still, those types of things we've been covering. But Trump leaving the message or the message or the ISO messy in the castle, and the king saying Messiah us and those types of things. But this is where those punishments are happening, and we're in those certain time frames where the great tribulation is opening and that tribulation is closing. And the Matthew 24:29 can take us into that 11/29 marker as far, and that's also that 7/11, and that was the day with Trump's trial and such. But we tracked all that stuff and put it together back then. But oh, thank heaven for 7/11. The 7 lights Trump has been tinkering with that he told us about the either way, the this time frame from the 21 Matthew to the 29 Matthew of the Great Tribulation, the 8 years woman clothed in the sun, all these things wrapping up, your messaging system, your crypto, all these things are giving life to a new world, and the new heaven and earth is here and whatever. And those who are marked by the 666, and well, that's for the tracking of the buying and selling and this Orwellian whatever kind of thing. That's where it all is. And they've been given over to this motion picture, this image given life, these dark lights that are brought to light and giving you a bunch of fear and not understanding who you are, where you are, what you are. So this is where the so-called second coming of Jesus is happening within the people, as some are being left behind and some are being raptured up. And there's 2 left behinds, as the people in the water were left behind and drowned out as that current sea comes and the petrodollar is put under. And then you have the people left behind as Noah going into the new world. Okay, so that's where you have John, the wild one, is looking back at the island of Patmos. We're in that island of Patmos now, in the TSA and the airports and all these other things. But this is where he's looking back after a certain amount of time that Jesus is within him. He's realizing this truth that's been played upon this earth, and so he comes and writes it down in such a form so we can all know these things when the time is near. And these things happen in such a way over and over, but this is where it's happening to change the whole world at a time. Okay, it's a lot of times just where we saw the birth of America, or these types of things were shown in history. But this is where the new world order and a whole new mechanism came. There's the way of gold, the way of the petrodollar, which is the black gold, and that black light and such. So as this is being done, and that's a bridge system to this other one from thin air. It's the manna that's being given. Okay, so this manna coming in is for those children going into the wild, into the wilderness and such. So into the wild and the wilderness are these times where it's the kids that have been woke. They're not going back into that dream that's being controlled, or where that dream where you're asleep and you have no clue what, you can't even remember after so long after you've been awake or whatever. So that daydreaming is where the things happen, where you come up with your creation and your ideas. It all starts with a spark. You take that spark, that idea, you put it out on paper, you build something, do whatever. So we are those sons of God, as we are creators and made to do things in this world. We're not made to control men for money and all these other things that we have now. Today, capitalism is just a glorified slave system And there's things about it that are good, but for the most part, it's just where one man is trying to control a whole bunch of other men so he can be rich and have his nice big palace and all these other things, thinking he's better than other people, thinking he should have more, thinking blah, 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 okay? When we're all created in the eyes of God, in the eyes of the earth, all right? And this is where, either way, folks, but we're going into a whole new way of being, and these things happen through time, as we can see, and that hate has come upon the earth. Now the love needs to come, and as the love comes, this is where hate is love and love is hate, and these people are going to show the roots of their evil, okay? So these dark lights, these begotten sons, are calling up their children of hell, of Heil, of Heal, of all those little things, as the Mayhaw is here to wipe things out. And you have the TP USA, the TP's that toilet paper, part of that crapture I told you is coming. Also the cross poussé for the birth and such. But for the great tribulation that's breaking open, that will be such as was not since the beginning of the world. And this beginning of the world is tied to this biogenesis, self-replicating ribbon nucleic acid thing that the people took as the corona dark sun came in shining in their eyes, and they took the Lord's name in vain. And now that Son of Man shall rise again within their hearts, and their hearts have already growing ice cold, and all these little things as they're taken into the land of Oz. Okay, and the land of Oz has the golden brick road, and they're not going to take that golden brick road. They're going to go. Well, notice the old people in Wizard of Oz, they're not even around. Okay, they're not in the 4-color. So, either way, folks, we'll end it here.